So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. You're welcome to this week's Forex Outlook with Great White FX for the 26th of February to the 1st of March. So, as always, we're going to start off with the economic calendar and then we'll move over to our pair. So, starting off with the economic calendar, what do we have for next week? Well, next week, we have USD high impact news. Monday is going to be calm. No major news on Monday. No high impact news. Tuesday, we have high impact dollar news. Wednesday is going to be interesting for those that trade New Zealand. That's something like Aussie USD, USD NZD, GBP NZD, Euro NZD, NZD JPY, and the rest. Then we have prelim GDP for the dollar on Wednesday also by 2:30. Then we have unemployment claims on Thursday. Then Friday we have manufacturing. So next week is going to be pretty much interesting. So that out of the way, let's get down to our pairs. So as always, we're going to start off with US 100, DXY, the Euro USD, the Pound USD, Gold, Euro GBP, Pound Yen, and Euro Yen. So we're going to start off as always with US 100. Looking at this pair for now is still very, very much bullish. He's in what you would refer to as uncharted territories. It has not come to this high in a very long while. So for now, it's still very, very bullish, although it had a strong rejection. So if we go into the daily time frame, it's still bullish, but the possibility exists that we might see a bit of a retracement before a continuation to the upside. So if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you'll be watching for price to drop into any of these 4-hour imbalances to continue to the upside. But noteworthy if you look at price did not close above this high, 180.042. So since it failed to close above this high, you might see a steep retracement. That's, you might not get a shallow retracement. You might really get the deep retracement before price might continue back to the upside. Are we on the same page? So basically, what you just wait is, since this high has been broken, from here to here, you place your fib and wait for the equilibrium. So if we are to do that from here to here, the 50%, you see where the 50% is coming in at 1770.01. So and there's a fair value gap there. So if you drop down to your lower time frame, you might be able to pinpoint it accurately. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the dollar index. So before I continue on the dollar index, I would like to share a little bit of information. I have a partnership with this broker, Trading Pro. They've been around since 2017. And I am one of their trainers, and I also provide analysis on their trading community. So let me just basically share this. Their trading community, they have a trading community on Telegram. This is it. They have the VIP. If you look at the VIP, you can notice Great White. I always drop analysis on this channel every day for US 100, dollar index, Euro USD, GBPUSD, and gold. I have a daily outlook. Then during the New York session, I also drop New York session outlook. As you can see, our outlook on Friday, this is for gold. If you check this, you find out that this did very, very excellent on Friday. By the time we go to gold chart, you'll find this out. So the link to join will be posted down below the recording on YouTube. And if you would like further inquiries, I would also post my YouTube and my Telegram handle. So this is my Telegram handle at Great White FX. And this is my phone number. You can reach out to me if you have any questions on how to sign up. So that's out of the way. Let's start. Let's get down to what we have. So looking at the dollar index, the dollar index on the weekly is still reacting from this fair value gap, on the weekly fair value gap. And we have a very, very long week, a long week close for Friday, closed in deeply. If we look at it on the weekly, this might, if you look at it long term on the weekly, we can say that this is a retracement, and this retracement, this might be the continuation. This might be the continuation, because if we are to use our normal system, we can see that price did a very, very steep retracement down to 75% of this range. It was a steep retracement to 75%. That is on the weekly. If we drop down now to the daily time frame, daily time frame is still looking slightly bullish, because if we notice, we have a break above 104.26. Price paused at this weekly fair value gap. So going into this new week, I would say this pair might still get some bullish movement. And if you notice, there's an order block here. This order block was responsible for breaking this high. So if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame now, looking at the 4-hour time frame, like I said last week, the price is going to drop into this imbalance. And if you look at this imbalance also, price paused at the 50% of it. Do you see it? It came to the 50% and turned. So going into this new week, this is what you need to wait for. If price should retrace and doesn't close below this 103.43, wait for something like this, and then it's going to continue to the upside. Or since we have this big massive move, and if you look at this imbalance, the imbalance is from this side to this side. So price has already rejected from here. You wait for a close above 104.12, that's something like this, for the bullish continuation on price. So going into next week, dollar index will be slightly tilted to the upside. We'll be looking at a slight tilt to the upside, probably for price to come back here. That's on the dollar index. The next pair we're going to be looking at is the EURUSD. Looking at the EURUSD, if we look at this pair from the weekly, if we look at it from the weekly, let me remove all my annotations. We can say that this pair long term is in a downtrend. Are we on the same page? Long term, we are in a downtrend. Why? Because we have a break of these two lows. This low, most significantly, because this low was used to break 1.1095. So this is the retracement, and there's possibility that this retracement might be continuing to the down, has ended here at 1146, and the continuation might be seen for 1.0448 on the weekly time frame. So if we go down to the daily, well, if we go down to the daily, we have a close below here, below 107.23. What we're looking at is a retracement. We're looking at a retracement. Let me pull back my annotations. We're looking at a retracement. So the possibility exists. If we look at Friday, it was a long week. So if we go into the 4-hour time frame, going into this week, you might just expect a little bit of a move to the upside and continuation back to the downside. That's what we have going into the new week. But there is a possibility that we have what looks like equal highs here, close proximity to each other. So price may try to sweep this high and then continue to the downside. But for this pair is still tilted to the downside. So what will tell you that this down move has already started once you get a break of 108.03, 1.0803. Once that's something like this, break here, wait for the retracement, and they move lower. That's what we have on the Euro USD. The next pair we're going to be looking at is GBP USD. Looking at the GBP USD, the possibility is that we might see a little bit of a slight bullish run on this pair going into next week. Why? This is a bullish engulfing on the weekly. It's a bullish engulfing on the weekly. Somebody may say, why is Euro USD going to be bearish and GBP USD looking bullish? I'll explain where we get to Euro GBP. So looking at this pair, the possibility exists that this pair may do this and continue back to the downside. That's what we may see on this pair going into this new week. We might see a sharp rally to the upside, maybe to sweep maybe 127.71 or even this high before a continuation back to the downside. That's for the Euro USD. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. You can see it's still choppy to the upside. So it may be gunning for this fair value gap here at 1.2741. If it fills it, then we may see a move back down to the downside. So the next we're going to be looking at is gold. Looking at gold, the possibility exists that this pair may slightly continue bullish going into this new week. As we can see, we have a bullish engulfing on the weekly. And price closed very near the high. So if we drop down to the daily time frame, we already have the daily has a bearish bias because price is tilting to the downside. So there's a possibility that we may see a bit of a retracement and a continuation to probably come into 2055 or 2065. So if we go down to the 4-hour on this time frame, we might see a bit of a retracement into this area. So what you'll be watching next week is this level here. Wow, I have so much here. We'll be watching this other block here. This other block is significant because it broke this high and this swing high. And yes, and this swing high. So you'll be waiting for a retracement. If price retraces, then you'll be watching for a rally to probably 2044.65, then probably 2065. So looking at gold going into next week, there's a possibility we might see a bullish run on gold going into next week. First target here, then you have this 4-hour imbalance top, then before 2065. So gold going into next week, slightly bullish. Euro pound is still bearish, but it's in an ugly range. It's in an ugly range. Why do I say the range is ugly? There is no major, you can see wicks on both sides. And it has swept liquidity to the upside. If we go down to the weekly, it didn't close above 0.8572. So most likely, we might see price gone for 84.99. Then 84.92. And with this going to the downside, you're going to have pressure on euro. If this continues to the downside, you're going to have more pressure on the euro and GBP strength. So that may push GBP slightly higher and keep euro under pressure. should the dollar index retrace to the downside. But once the dollar index starts to rally to the upside and this continues to the downside, your best bet is to sell EURUSD and not GBPUSD. Are we on the same page? So the next pair we're going to be looking at is pound yen. Like I said last week, pound yen is still very, very much bullish. This pair is still very, very bullish. And his targets, let me pull back my annotations. His targets looking in this new week might be 1940. That's where he might be going into this new week. If you look to the left, that is the top of this weekly fair value gap. And we also have another fair value gap there between 19183 to 192.30. So those are the two targets going into this new week. So if we go down to the daily time frame, we have a rejection on the daily time frame. So this rejection points to the fact that we might see a retracement into this range before a continuation to the upside. So we're going to have a sell to buy, a retracement and a continuation to the upside on this pair. First target is going to be 19140. So the next pair we're going to, the last but not the least, is Euro Yen. Euro Yen also is still bullish. It's still bullish, but like I said last week, and just like I explained on Euro Pound, the Euro Pound's weakness is what is keeping this still slightly capped. If you notice, the euro is the pound yen is moving higher than the euro yen. So that's how you know comparative analysis and you know comparative strength analysis. So you know which pair will give you more money and which is going to drag you down. So looking at this pair from the weekly, the possibility exists that price may be going for 163.72, then 164.30. That's what we're having going into this new week. For the weekly time frame, if we look at it on the 4-hour, we have a week here and price is within a bearish structure. So we might see a bit of a retracement. After this retracement, then price is going to continue to the upside. Now let's look at the 4-hour time frame. So the 4-hour time frame has a fair value gap of interest. So if price goes below this fair value gap and comes here, you'll be watching this for bullish evidence to continue to the upside, as long as price stays above 16147. So that settles it. Any other question? Do I have any question, or is there any pair anybody who want me to look at before we call it a night?
Thank you.
So in the absence of any other question, I wish everybody a beautiful Sunday ahead and a blessed and wonderful trading week ahead. Good night, everybody, and thank you all for taking your time to attend. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.